Hey y'all, welcome back to our weekly guided meditation. For this week, I want to revisit the concept of impermanence in our practice. I opened with this in one of the first couple of meditations of this series, and I just want to kind of circle back to it. And that's because a lot of times we think of impermanence, there's certain connotations that can maybe come off as negative, right? The fact that things fall apart, that things don't stay or remain the way they wish or we hope they would. And this sort of points to sort of a fault in the way that, like, we can think sometimes. I notice this in my own life when I think about the expectations that I hold, expectations for how something should go, or expectations for how somebody should act. And the more attached I am to this sort of expectation of what should happen, the more often I find myself to be disappointed because it doesn't end up being aligned with the fact of reality of what ends up actually happening. And so this relationship between sort of impermanence and expectations is really interesting because if we really pay attention, we can realize that our expectations can have maybe a soft ground, but nothing super firm or concrete, right? Like there's always opportunity for change. Like we never know what's going to happen the next moment or the next moment. Of course, we can predict with great certainty certain events, but in general, like we really don't know. Anything is possible at any moment. And the more we can let go of the expectations and sort of step into this space of wonder, of curiosity, of real openness to the possibilities of what might present themselves, I feel like we can sort of be more of in a natural state of flow with the universe around us. We're not so rigid and held to these sort of ideals of what the future should bring us. As opposed, we just open to the possibilities of what might arrive. And I think we can practice this sort of letting go of expectations, this sort of embracing of the unknown, embracing of the sort of uncontrollable future, with a sense of like wonder and again curiosity. And so today we're going to do a mindful listening practice, but we're also going to bring our awareness into the sensations too, and just sort of on a microcosmic level, like see the impermanence of our own moment to moment experience, whether it's through the changing sounds happening around us or sensations that arise and then pass away. And we can note them and say, like, oh, there's impermanence again. There it is again. Like, what's that? Like, kind of bringing this sort of childlike curiosity and sense of wonder into our practice. So be like, ooh, what is that sound that just arrived? Or listen to that change. Or then the boat sound on the river down the street. You know, I live near the river near Chapatulas, and I hear the boat sounds a lot, or I hear cars driving by, or birds singing, or sometimes the buzzing of my HVAC unit. I mean, it's like constantly this sort of symphony of change. And I've learned to like when I practice to like really enjoy like what might come up next, like what sound might arrive, and just be open to it as opposed to like holding myself like there needs to be perfect silence, like and being annoyed by quote unquote disruptions of in our practice. Like let's not be annoyed by it. Let's like be open and like loving to it and accepting of it. And just see how that might transform the attitude you bring into your practice. So we'll begin, as we always do, comfortably seated, supported, in whatever way is appropriate for you. So sitting in a chair, sitting on the ground, even laying on your back if that's most appropriate. But take a few moments just to get sort of situated, to get comfortable. Make sure if you're seated that your spine is nice and upright. That's not being forceful and rigid, but it's just kind of floating naturally by virtue of the support that you have in your hips and your knees. And you can bring your hands together in your lap, or you can place them on your thighs, whatever mudra feels, most natural for you. Of course, you can close your eyes or just keep them really softly open. Just begin by feeling your breath, by kind of checking in with your body through your breathing. Just taking a few moments to settle into your seat. Just letting the breath move in a natural rhythm, watching it move in and out. See if you can relax the skin on the face. Let the shoulders release down the back. Allow your hips to relax as well. You just kind of get comfortable in your body, finding a sense of real stillness. Just breathing, resting in your body. And then begin to just bring all of your attention to your faculties of listening. Just hearing all the sounds around you, just taking them all in without any filters, without judgment, without expectation. Just fully absorbing the moment through your listening. What's the furthest sound that you can detect? How far can you stretch your listening? What's the most subtle and quiet sound that you can detect? One that's nearby. And then begin to notice the shifting landscape of sound. Each time a new sound comes in, just note it as impermanence, as change. And see if you can just experience the constant changing of stimulus happening around you through your listening, noting each change that arises. Just paying attention so clearly, so precisely to the symphony of sounds all around, from the quiet and most subtle to the most distinct and obvious. Just watch it all change. Just witness the impermanent nature of the sounds. Just be totally open and curious. Totally free of expectation. Just listen with all of your attention. Maintaining your attention on your listening. Can you also spread your awareness into your body and feel the shifting landscape of sensations? And just as you do with the sounds you hear, watching them change and noting them each time you hear a new sound or you hear a sound disappear, bring the same exercise into the awareness of the sensations in your body. Notice how many sensations there are when you really open to them. Tingling, a buzzing, an itch, a slight pain, a warmth, a coolness. Just fully expanding your awareness to include all the stimulus of sounds and sensations. And from this non-judgmental state of the witness, just watch it all arise and watch it all pass away in the field of impermanence. Just watch and listen so closely. Tune your awareness so it's so sensitive. And just note all the changes. Note the surprise of what might arise in each moment. Just anchor all of your attention on all the changes you experience, noting them each time. Impermanence. Finding a sense of restfulness and wonder and the beauty of surprise. If you notice you become distracted by your thinking, your storytelling, just shift all of your awareness back to the sensations in the body, to the sounds in the room and beyond. Let this be home base. So anytime you drift away, just in that moment of noticing you've drifted, just gently guide yourself back to our attention on impermanence. Continue to relax tension in the body if it arises by just letting gravity do most of the work. Just use the minimal amount of effort necessary to maintain your posture. Be relaxed and open. And just absorb all of the data of the moment that's coming in through your listening and through your feeling without filters, free of expectation and free of attachment. Just giving everything space to do its thing, letting go of control and just becoming the crystal clear witness to your moment to moment experience. Again, if you've become distracted, tangled up in the mind, just come back to the witness state. Let go of judgments, expectations, and just be fully and completely present. If your posture is starting to slouch a little bit or you're leaning to one side or the other, just slowly realign your spine. Stay fully attentive to all the sounds and sensations and just note them as they arise. Notice every little minute change that's happening in your environment, in the field of your awareness. And experience firsthand the nature of impermanence, the tendency for things to change in each and every moment. Very gradually begin making little movements, maybe rocking a little from side to side. And if your eyes are closed, you can gently let them open and then pray your hands at your heart. I invite you to explore this more in your daily life, to notice when your expectations are limiting you, and to let go and to trust in the wonder of impermanence. Thank you all.